thank the gentleman. We'll now recognize the gentlewoman from Michigan, Ms. Lawrence, for 5 minutes.
Director Comey, how many years have you been the director?
3 years. I know the exact day count, I think, at this point.
So how many cases have you investigated approximately that you had to render a decision?
The Bureau investigates tens of thousands of cases. The director only gets involved in a very small number of them.
So about how many?
I think I've been deeply involved in probably 10 to 20.
Have you ever been called before Congress on any of those other decisions?
No, this is the first time.
Thank you. There are some Republicans who support you. Not surprisingly, they're the ones who actually know you. And I have a letter here, and I would like to enter into the record from Richard Painter, Mr. Chair. He was President Bush's chief ethics lawyer. And may it be entered into the record?
She's asking unanimous consent. Without objection, so ordered.
Mr. Painter refers to Mr. Comey as a man of, and I quote, a man of the utmost integrity who calls the shots as he saw them without regard to political affiliation or friendship. He states, and I quote, throughout the FBI investigation of Secretary Clinton's email server, I have been convinced that the director would supervise the investigation with being impartial and strict adherence to the law, as well as prosecutorial precedent. He also adds, although I'm aware of very few prosecutions for carelessness in handling classified information as opposed to intentional disclosure, I knew that the director would recommend prosecution in any and all circumstances where it was warranted. I cannot think of someone better suited to handle such a politically sensitive investigation. Finally, and I quote, I urge all members of the United States Congress to stop from inferring in specific decisions, particularly those involving political allies or opponents. During my tenure in the White House, there were very unfortunate allegations that powerful senators sought politically motivating firing of United States attorney. Whether or not such allegations were true, it is imperative, and I'm still quoting, that members of the Senate or the House never again conduct themselves in a manner where such interference could be suspected. And I want to be on the record, I wholeheartedly agree with Mr. Painter. Director, you have demonstrated yourself, you sat here and asked the questions, and I would never oppose to finding the answers to any situation that is directly related to federal agencies, which we on this committee are responsible for. But I want to be clear that Congress has no business interfering with these types of decisions that are coming in your responsibility. These type of attacks are not only inappropriate, but they're dangerous. They're dangerous because they could have a chilling effect on the future investigations. And I asked that question, how long have you been in this position? How many times have you made decisions and it were not pulled in 24 hours before this committee? How many times? And then we say it's not political. And you have said repeatedly, regardless of who it was, you conducted the investigation as required under your responsibility. And here you have Republicans who are saying you are an honorable man. And till this day, I have not heard any complaints of your judgment. So I sit here today as a member of Congress on the record that the slippery slope that we're seeing today in this hearing, I want every member to be cautious of what we're saying, that in America, when we have investigations that we will allow our own elected Congress and Senate to make this a political agenda to attack, but only if it's in their agenda. This goes for Democrats and Republicans. We are not here to do that. Thank you, and I yield back my time.
Thank the gentlewoman. We'll now recognize the gentleman from Iowa.